Mother India just mother Trini. My Mahuta planted sugar cane down in the Caroni plain. Ram Logan Basdale percussion eye. Jahaji Pai. Brotherhood of the boat. Jahaji Pai. Brotherhood of the boat. Jahaji that journey, for I to have Zindagi. So it is a great privilege to have such unique heritage. 50% Africa, 50% India. India, I have done duty to holiday, emancipation and arrival day. Since Patel Rosak made that journey, 150 years gone already. Whether you're Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, let's walk this land hand in hand. We could only prosper if we try. So who wants to go for Brotherhood of the boat. Brotherhood of the boat. Kumaye, Zindawe. Kumaye, Zindawe, ayo. Kumaye. Somewhere on that journey, you must see a man in a dhoti saying it prayers in front of a chanting. Then only then you understand what is a cosmopolitan nation. There's no room for prejudice at all. United we stand, divided we fall. So to always is here in Trinbago. Let us live as one under the sky. Jahaji Pai. Brotherhood of the boat. Jahaji Pai. Brotherhood of the boat. Jahaji Pai. Kumaye, Zindawe. Kumaye, Zindawe, ayo. Kumaye, Zindawe.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Time check. It's approximately 11 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. I just listen to the Gong Report. You're shooting the Pitbull of Radio and Lennox Smith in studio. Mr. Pleasant, good morning to each and every one of you that are locked on to us on Real Media TT on Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube. that, eh? Them was just hunters and rescue. Now them is rescue, hunters. Them better people. Them finding people. Hunters and rescue. Who really getting paid for the work? Can't do the work. Well, best only give hunters and rescue the work. Bring them into the service, man. Latin America. Latin America effort to mediate Venezuela's standoff loses steam as Maduro consolidates rule. The Ghana government teachers union agree on salary increases for teachers. A police officer carjacked in Santa Rosa Heights. Yeah. Imagine that. I wonder Rusty Nail. Rusty Nail sent today's papers. Madam, well, you know you must be saying one.
Is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Bring down the power.
A new Tech board appointed. Tech going to mash up just now, you know.
Greatest power.
Well, you know, Korea always says we accept some people. Not like LENNOX Smith when he get people to go England, India. Yes. To do some kind of scholarships and them kind of thing. Anyhow, let me say a pleasant good morning to LENNOX Smith. LENNOX Smith, a pleasant good morning to you.
And now the earth is a trembling with man's oppression of man. Now the time comes to...
Oh boy. Yes, loud and clear, loud and clear. Loud and clear. Here, what I want to find out now. Alan Warner loses lawsuit linked to mining probe. Well, you gotta go down in that. What that about? Any girl license? Yeah. Eh? Super sad. Bang super sad. Imani. Wow. But they ain't like here. They ain't like here. But meanwhile you're continuing with, but meanwhile you continue, let me tell you all, don't forget to send your voice notes. What's on your front burner? Send your voice notes to 366-3053. 366-3053. So whether it's one voice note, two voice note alone I get, that is what I'll be going with, and then opening the lines. Right? While we continue to just bro. That passed us. So yeah, so the judge Lennox Smith, so the judge tell him, but you go before you get a license and wanna win that. Where the hell is this boy? So the judge beat on that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait. But then I can't understand what make he do that and shooting. But I really can't understand what made Alan Warner, after getting catch with illegal Korean or however it go, when you do get a license, number days after which all of that is explained or then you go now to sue the state based on interfering when you went in the first place and you don't have the evidence that boy, some people, we, oh, when you come there, get refreshment, they done the talk. Yeah, they run for the food to eat. Eh? Oh boy. That ain't speak no volume for me at all. That ain't speak volume at all. How much he say? Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. Now, me mean getting rowdy them credit based on what you saying there. I absolutely agree that they're beatable. At the end of the day, all the evidence is there and all them things. The credit is not that, whereby a fair election we think, the credit is how good they is in winning, in actually, yeah, in Stephen the elections. Yeah. Right, true. That's how it is. Nice. Oh boy.
And let me
Let's organize and play these voice notes here. There. Let's get it going. Let's
Morning, Andy. Andy Lennox, Mikey. Andy, I sent you a picture review for Andy. In the newspaper, they say that how Sinanan explaining how Junior Sami you were late on the road project, saying they do shoddy work or shoddy material. Andy, and that contractor is still allowed to do work for Trinidad. They catch him using ridiculous material, maybe nasty material, or maybe not good, no good material. Junior Sami, and he's still allowed to do work. And I tell you, Trinidad is not a real place, Andy. Look at the photo I sent you. Trinidad is not a real place, brother. Talk to you later.
nice. Send your voice note to in the mic. Talk in the mic now. Let me get cleaner than that than muffle. Cause I know you're listening right now. Let me hear this.
three ships.
all you saw? You sat in your office and all you saw was tree ship. And before all the PNM supporters run underneath here, stop for a second. And remember, most of you are suffering too. I know nothing about politics, and I don't give a damn about it. But I'm a single mother with an autistic son, severely autistic. And let me give you a little story, sir. I walked into Unit Trust one day, and before I walked in, I told the security, I said, I have a severely autistic son. Can you alert them so when somebody's available, they can meet me in the car park? The security was on her phone for a while. Then she come and say, Mom, you can't park here. I said, okay, but did you alert them that I have a severely autistic child and I need to do some business? All her interest was, you can't park here. Okay, I'm in the car park. She came. Well, they could go in, you know. I said, did you alert them? Yes. I went in and the security on the inside. I hope you're paying attention, sir. I said, I'm the woman with the autistic child. Oh, okay. They carried me in. The one was nice. And then she said, I have to hold on. I said, I can't hold on in here, ma'am. I have a severely autistic child. I can't stand in that queue. And it's around Christmas time. It's the 26th of October. People are doing business. By that time, my son is getting a sensory overload and there's blinkers on the wall. And he's now screaming and he's biting me now, so I gotta go. And she said, no, hold on. Then she's like, when she see how serious it is, give me an ID. So I dip in my bag to give her my ID while I'm trying to hold my son and I'm eating bites. And my son, when I let one hand go to dip in my bag, tried to escape and run to the door. And run into Unit Trust step and burst over his eyes. Blood all over the place. He still suffers with his eyes all now. It's not even a year since. When I asked them for a pipe, they sent me outside. Obviously because this on my head is Rasta. Go outside by the pipe in the yard and wash his eyes and he's bleeding. Blood not stopping. Cross here. Don't worry. You ain't seen to put things in place for autistic families, but you see tree ship. We can't join queues, we can't line up, but you see tree ship. So what is this, trading? You don't see the blood of your people, you don't see the tears of your people, but you see tree ship. I wrote a letter to HEC during COVID. And I let you know if I can pay a rent for an entire house because I can't rent an apartment building with my kid's condition. Because when a neighbor playing music, I can't tell the neighbor stop playing his music that loud. Huh? I can't disturb other people because of my situation. My son's screaming, not supposed to be disturbing other people. And your office replied to me saying, we are waiting a report from HEC. We are waiting a response from HEC. I got 4 follow-ups from your office during COVID. We are waiting a response from HEC. Although I applied since in 2000 and maybe 2, 3, 4, somewhere there. I don't even know. First it was long. But you see, tree ship. What are we going to do with this? Trade these in? Autistic families going to trade these in? Huh? We have bills, we pay rent, we have the same situation like everybody else. We are exhausted. We are single mothers. While some people see politics, nobody sees single parents with special needs children. The autistic society doesn't exist to me because they see finances, money, maybe if I have a big ride. They don't see people like me, especially when you come from the ghetto. So what are we doing with these, sir? Is the police are going to charge me now for my driver's permit if I don't change it in your 6 months period? When you get this stuff done in 6 months period, would I get a ticket because I have 3 shifts? And not a steel pan? Come on, sir, talk to me. Because you can't assist me in getting a home so that me and my children can be comfortable because we can't be going from apartment to apartment when things go wrong. You can't assist us with anything else but you see tree ship. So what am I supposed to do? Go back to licensing and pay $1,000 for 10 years for a steel pan? Am I supposed to, what are these things trading? Am I going to carry in the birth paper and trade it in for the new steel pan birth paper, trade in the passport for the new steel pan passport? Come on, talk to me!
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Wake up! Oh God, wake up! Before it's too late, please. Oh God. Wake up!
Listen to this. And yet still, when PNM cut all the programs and things, that Kamala put in place for autistic children, for the differently abled, did they come out and protest it? Only one protest we saw when they refused to open the empowerment center for them. Nothing after that. You wait till now. It reached this stage to come now and talk. I empathize with her, I sympathize with her. But they should have been hitting the streets all now so for every shit that Rowley do. Rowley did and continues to do. But then they want to lump UNC and PNM together. That's shit.
Andy, good morning. My message was that Junior Sami was doing some work in Chaguanas. It's in the newspaper. I was reading it, and the minister of works sitting and said that he has the job went it was over the time it's supposed to get done. But the reason why it went so long is because he had to go and redo some of the work he did because the material was not, I don't know, was not good or was it bad or something like that, you know. But what I'm saying is that how you give a contract to these kind of contractors who do shoddy work, overrun cost, and you still give it a guy's contract, that to show you that Trinidad is not a replace, and all of those ministers like Switzerland get cutbacks. That's why Junior Sammy is getting contract because Junior Sammy is giving them money in their pocket after they. I mean, you a highway or a piece of road is supposed to be done in say 2 months, and you run it over 6 months and asking for more money. I'm telling you, that's the reason why Trinidad is not a replace. Listen, I was a well when I was young in Trinidad. I worked for Seaman Brothers. I worked for his son, Shaman Teddy. And I see where overrun price and money passing. In those days, I work in the Caribbean River. And Andy, I'm telling you, Trinidad is not replace, brother. Talk to you later.
Yo, morning Lennox, morning Andy, morning Mighty K, morning everybody. You know, I always see in California Morris always posting up the airport. The airport looking nice. It coming to come. The new airport, it really coming to come. So it's looking nice. I is already posting up because there's nothing else we to post up that PNM doing Tobago. But you know, this sad thing about it. The same place when I was up there, when I was showing the sign, the Ines Gate sign with Dr. Rowley and the house by Warner Place, wherever. Next to that is where they get the people and them land to, to build back. ITK, Lennox, and Andy. Anytime all are coming to Tobago, just announce it all are coming to Tobago next week. I got put vehicle in place for you. And I got like all to go in there and see how the place look. One and never finished, you never complete the project because you never finished the road one. And people inside, it don't matter how small the house is, they're catching the to finish it now. They're catching the E to finish the house. Inside they must have about near line to tell it could be about 25 houses or less. And probably only 3 complete. Canoe do have none complete. But they're boasting about the airport. And people just forget. I was saying people just forget people watching the airport, but they forget the residents who was there and what the resident going through. It's 3 years now since they moved them people. And people catching their skin, but everybody forget about that. Okay, for most doing posting the great is the PNM for that. All them years in Tobago and that is all we'll do.
Tobago, I would like you to, but that's a good offer. when we come across there in Tobago to do some lives there and follow up some what we do with the INS gate and thing. And giving us the opportunity of a vehicle to move about. That was good. But a way to organize to one because how you talk is like you don't have the confidence in that Tobago people will vote again, that the PNM will lose that 2 seat. Because you're saying that all of that is done. Imagine all of that gets swept under the carpet. But then in real, and you're saying that the minority leader in Tobago, Moses, or whatever you call him there, you're saying that he only putting up the airports as a part of a promotion of the PNM in Tobago there. That only doing, putting up that. But then if it's all of that and it's 3 years past and all those things, and again, I just being 100% accurate now, why not a nobody? Again, don't you believe that, oh God, the election's going to close day, that Fali is supposed to be organizing and mobilizing them people? Watch Duke go and do it. Duke go and do it before Faith go. You know? So I just saying, and you send a voice note from Element, where is he confident of you when coming to the people of Tobago really and truly voting on the PNM? Or the PNM catch them back for 10 pieces of silver? Where's your overall view after all that big grab there? Tobago went green. Tobago gone PDP. And the 2 PNMs losing women. Losers as women. Just dollies. Them just as showgirls. Dressed up nice, who was black, getting white. I know them girl and them like the Jamaican kind of scenes, the bleaching. I know, but a waste of time. I hear any background there, LENNOX. So a waste of time. So let me know where's the situation. You, all of you in Tobago that are locked on, give us an idea. Where's your thoughts? Where's your feeling on the ground there in Tobago? But I stand firm in saying elections is right there. And oh God, Fali, you need to get cracking, boy. You need to bring out your forces. All right, let me finish these voice notes and them there. Say, all Tobago, all could always send voice notes there. And again, when I saying that, I not on Fali in that way, hey, the man, and when I call the name, I want Fali lost, or what is, oh God, he's the THA head. He technically have the finances to be able to use his godly office. Mobilize your people, boy. Oh God. And why go be on you? Because who have asked to mobilize the people in Trinidad? Eh? When I don't know the people in Trinidad, then they go hear more of them just still on this race thing. They rather be hungry than to vote for the PNM. Most of do is not vote. They ain't go for vex the PNM, they just wouldn't vote, but may not vote for other party. And then while they're watching, all who claim track for Guti to just run down. And that Guti go be the PNM. I always go, I can't play a 8 minutes voice note. Tell you all that a little too long. So the 8 minutes, well, you know, I'm bypassing that. Right, let me see. I know God, boy, my partner, they send 3. 1 minute something. But they give me 2 minutes all in one.
Good morning, Andy for Grandy and LENNOX. Sam here. Randy, after I see that murder of that little child and she father, that really break my heart, you know. A demon in human form can perpetrate that kind of murder. You thought a former PNM councillor come here to console the family. I know what that man say? Nobody's safe in this country. Nobody's safe. Everybody should just leave and fly out of here. Because these gangsters take over that part of the country where that murder take place, and they're taxing everybody. Everybody has to pay tax. They're coming by and extorting you, right? So I want to know, you have Tweedledum and Tweedledee in Hines and this next fool from Port of Spain, Scotland. What them doing about all these criminal activities taking place? Eh? About Erla doing about it? She praying about it? Because they're extorting the people and taking their money from them, and if they can't pay, they're shooting you up. Right? And that is what they're perpetrating in, with business people, because they can't get no more contract. So they're just taking advantage of the poor and want to kill them now. It's time to turn the table on these monsters. Time to deal with them, right? The 6 feet under rule is what you have to try to do with them now, because they don't want to listen. They don't want to work. They want to kill. So it's turn the tables on them. Have a good day, fellas. Good morning, Andy for Grandy, Lennox. Ground report Sama here. Well, I see the government gets some good ratings from the ICC because the Brian Lara Stadium was given an unsatisfactory rating, which means one of the worst stadium in the whole of the Caribbean. So put it on your chest, Dr. Rowley. You presided over a World Cup with one of the worst stadiums, the Brian Lara Crooked Academy. I had to say it, crooked, right? Furthermore, this hullabaloo with these ship on the coat of arms and all of that. When these people from the um, Terence Farrell, right, and the organization that presided over the constitutional reform was doing their business, they didn't come with no documentation to remove any ship from the coat of arms, you know. That was all Dr. Rowley. He came up with that brilliant idea to remove the coat of arms and have people running helter skelter and talking a pack of rubbish but putting steel pan and tassa and all kind of nonsense on the coat of arms. That is his distraction tactics. That's to distract the people that were going on in this country. That is all what Dr. Rowley doing, right? He distracting the population for foolishness. We don't have no money, but you have money to do that. Have a good day, grow report. You can't fool people, you know. Morning again, Andy for Grandy. So the Prime Minister went up in Lahore, hit a Paro, and preaching a set of foolishness with Tassa and all steel pan and all kind of thing for that crowd there. He raised beating the crowd. He want to perpetrate um, ethnic unrest in this country with the Indians and the Africans. That's what he doing. He used that same technique for the last election. So he raised beating it now to make it look like Indian people don't want this pan symbol to be put on the coat of arms. But if I was the opposition leader, me answer here, and when he come to pass that foolish bill, I wouldn't give him no time of the day to do it because that is a non-entity. Right now, look at how much crime taking place in this country and the economy falling and all that. People can't get work. And this is the nonsense. He is he cut from the pants cloth like Mudro, you know. That Maduro tactics this man working with there, you know, and he supporters sit down there like if them mesmerized and they're so foolish. They even want to take the man to task for that. Them supporting that nonsense, you know. Have a good day, Andy and Lennox.
Morning again, and then morning, mighty K boy. Now, let me tell you about Fali. Right? When Fali come in power, the land was $150,000. A lot. When Fali came in power, Fali dropped it down to half price. And tell all the take all the time and pay. Under the PNM, you couldn't do that. You had a certain time to pay. You had to pay about, I think it was either 10 or 50,000, and you had 3 months to finish pay off the rest or something so. But when Fali come, he dropped that one. To remember, it has certain things you weren't able to do because certain things don't put in place already. But tell people he could try and assist many of them by building houses now, boy. Right now, it have a company, towers don't mobilize already in Cabo Bay. Them going and start to build some houses. I went inside and I see them mobilize already. But funding is kind of the problem. They ain't getting the full funding, and they know everybody know that Tobago does only get what $4.30 something cents on every $100, right? So when we get with 2 point something billion, majority of that going on expenditure. But Tobago East and West going to follow them, going to the TPP. Me and asking you, telling you, and I could boast about that. It going to them. We don't want Shanfa, we don't want the next Ayana version name is. We want people from Tobago to fight for Tobago. So on the ground, it's looking good. But the funding is the problem. I telling you that. Secretary James, I don't know what magic he working, but he working in magic and he doing good so far now, boy. By making things happening. But we ain't getting the funding. But I tell you, what little I know is that Fari trying to assist some of them people with the housing thing. That is what I know so far. But Tobago East and West belongs to the rightful people in Tobago. Morning again, fellas. And you what I'm saying? And the same goes to UNC. Same goes to Kamala. One term was never enough for Kamala, but she did good for one term. So one term for Ali, the TPP team, Tobago people parties, Tobago people choose our party. One term is not enough. And if Kamadu get in power again, you had to get she from the third year to start to really function, because the first 2 years is to clean up. And that's the same thing that going over here. The first year they come in, the second year they have to clean up because it's a real mess. Secretary James Pollard, everybody been highlighting all the mess. But then what? The media do carry it. But if it's some lies against the team, yeah, they're gonna run with it now, boy. They're gonna go with it, they're gonna run with it. Now when them fellas come out and tell the truth, that is it, they just die down. And there's only few people that share it out there. So, you know the propaganda machine does work already. You understand? So more and again, fellas.
Hey, friend, the mistake is the minister take out BIM and put BAM. He remove Fred for Alfred. That's the problem with the government and the PNM. Right? BIM and BAM, Fred and Alfred. That's what they have there for Minister of Security. Talk to you later.
Nice. When they send any voice notes, don't forget to talk in the mic, talk in the mic. Well, that's it for voice notes. All right, so we heard some of the things there. We heard what is the situation on the ground there in Tobago by one Tobagonian. You know, others will call. And let me say kudos if it is what you're saying there based on Fally there. That's good, that's good. All those things is good. But what I'm saying is you just need to go up some mobilize the people. Mobilize the people. Mobilize the people. That's why I'm saying that. And also before we go to the lines and take the lamb calls, have anything you want to add or take out? In some of the front burners, you heard the aesthetic woman, how she talk with her child. Volcanology. I missed one voice note. Let me just play that there.
Good morning, Ground Report. Andy Williams, Michael LENNOX Smith. Good morning to all the loyal Ground Report listeners. My topic this morning, I know most people are talking about Rowley and he intend to change the coat of arms. But I want to raise my topic this morning, as Andy Williams will say, what is your front burner? And it pertaining to these migrant children that I see the press so happy about, you're seeing all kind of articles, 20-something children, migrant children, going to school from September. I even saw an article where they say Gaspy Dolly saying about they will get books and lunches. So I wanted to know all this fuss about these children and so much local children going to school so long and no fuss. Just the other day you had a instance where a parent was found trying to was stealing school books. What going on with them? But these people coming into the country, most of them coming illegally, and like if it's the red carpet rolling out to them, everything now is them. With my first migrant, you will see most it come for the first day of school. You will see how they mightn't have plastered them on the front page, but definitely the article will be there. First set of migrant children to enter school, and I might take it. What about all these children, Trinidadian children who is failing in school? What they're doing about that? What about all these children? About the school violence. All in studying about these things. Everything now focus on these migrant children that come in the country legally and getting all these things. But I keep telling earlier, I just always wonder why the government buttering up to these migrants. And I telling earlier, come 2025, they are going to be the new voting bloc for the People's National Movement. You know, mark my words. I telling earlier, these.
Come on, all of call. Let me hear him, man. Let me hear him. He said these. Oh Lord!
He reached the point of voting blocks, and you can't take that away from him. That is a strong possibility. Yeah, there's always something sinister in these efforts, but I think what Rowdy and they are playing to is the international audience.
Let me finish him.
Go ahead.
Let me finish him.
Yeah.
These people is going to be the new voting bloc because he don't care about the ones he already have, you know. He going to focus on the ones that he need to get. And I tell you, these migrants, which is in the thousands, is going to be the PNM new voting bloc. Yeah, that's my take this morning, guys, and always keep up the good work. As always, you know, all on the ball are the pulse of the issues that are facing our country.
Nice. That's the kind of, you see the front burners and other people are coming with the nice front burners too. That's what we want from you all in the morning. Early, when you all get up. Let's see who give us let's see who give us the rocking. You know, give you a shaking like that day. I believe that front burner shake me more than the Kotagram and Kota Arm and whatever you call it. That front burner. And the lady with the autistic children. Yeah, that was a good front burner there too. The lady with the autistic children that you all send that thing there. All that was real good. So again, it's still open. Send your voice notes. But what's your front burner? Like this, what issue bothering you? What's supposed to make news that not making news? Come on, man. Use that voice note, man. Let's hear you. Oh boy. Hey, let me peep quick there. Well, because I know LENNOX may want to add or take out or just. Oh, let me peep and see if you have any more. Go ahead by the time, LENNOX.
Yes,
Smith.
well, the callers were thanking us for being on the pulse. I want to reciprocate by saying that they too are on the pulse. So those persons who took the time and effort to, of course, produce these voicemails, we want to commend you because I think we are in sync with each other, and that there cannot be no greater indictment on the part of this government when people are unanimous in their observation and based, of course, on their experiences, and you can't get away from it at all. So I want to commend them for treating with the matters in the way that they have. So more of you should be, of course, making your calls and or creating your voicemails in the comfort of your home, sipping a cup of coffee if you have, or a drink of water, as the case may be, but doing your duty to Trinidad and Tobago. I want to, of course, apologize to those on the corridor transformation. I had my mic off, and even though you were hearing Andy, you weren't hearing me when I would have, of course, been asked to make a contribution. I think that has been remedied now. My apology. By now I should not have made that kind of, a simple mistake, but it happens when you are engaged, of course, in multitasking, which, of course, we have to do every morning in order to bring this program to you. One of these days, we probably will do a program to give you an appreciation as to what is required. What is required to bring this program to you, behind the scenes. So it is a tremendous amount of work, and it cannot be overstated or underestimated. And anybody taking it for granted I think you are doing a disservice to us and, of course, those persons who benefit from the daily doses of information that would either be of news or addressing the local as well as the regional and international issues that we from time to time will bring to your attention. So those are some of the things that I would want to. But again, clearly there is a development. Elections is in the air. Of course, twice at Napa and at La Haukata, Rowley said that it is an election year. So confirming and suggesting to me, having regard to all of the experts, the economists, etc., indicating that the economy, or should I put another way, they do not have access to convenient monies. So therefore, the slush funds that we would normally be regaled with, if you want to call that, or so conspicuous to, of course, generate the kind of makeshift employment, temporary employment, ephemeral employment, so as to we can deceive and to deflect, may not be available to the party, and therefore to Rowley and therefore they are taking a different route, inclusive of this plan to replace the 3 ships, suggesting Columbus's first voyage in Nina de Pinta and, of course, the Santa Maria.
Them is trouble, yes, them is trouble. All you know, the lines are open to you, the people that phone, that would like to call in now. Hey, Lakwa, a pleasant good morning to you up there. And Kamana, all of you that in Kamana that are listening, a pleasant good morning to you. Matura, a pleasant good morning to the people of Matura that are locked on. And what did I forget this morning? All listening, I inhale out all who lock on Real Media TT on Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube, Corridor Transformation on YouTube, Love Laventil on Facebook, and Workers' Right Platform. So all of you that are locked on, a pleasant good morning to you. I'll hail out some of you in a little bit that are locked on. Plenty time passed, so some of you already might be disappear. All the messages disappear, so I mightn't see all, but I will, whatever is there and I see, I will hail out some.
And not for one moment anybody should feel that we are being eclectic, we are being selective, we are being biased. No, the technology sometimes overwhelms, so that if you didn't hear yours, we pledge that we will be playing every single one, so that if you didn't hear yours close to the termination of the program, well then of course do a quick one, tape it so that you could always resend it should in case it was lost in the clutter of the vagaries of the technology. Right? We are only individuals, and we do several things at the same time. Each one of us, Andy, Mikey, and myself, in our respective place of operation, just to communicate, to contact, and to get the corridor to link up with Real Media TT, and then of course our main studio, which of course is controlled by Andy. We are in different places in the country, and all of that is for security purposes as well. So it is not just a right and a simple scenario. We are conscious of what we are doing, and we know the enemy to the bone, and we know what they are capable of, and therefore, out of an abundance of caution, we have taken the relevant precautions to make certain that we are able every morning to bring the information to you and to see the sweet victory at the end of the exercise, because Trinidad and Tobago deserves it, and we are the people for the moment, and we join with others such as you in order to make certain that we get the salvation that is required to save Trinidad and Tobago's democracy.
Nice. Let me play this voice note here. Oh boy, oh boy.
Blessed morning, Andy. Mighty K, everybody, the ground report, Lennox. You were saying, Calvary Spirit here. You were saying, you hear what a man saying there? It's a strategy from the PNM long time. People now figuring it out. PNM has handled the outsiders. You understand what I'm telling you? When Kamala lost election, it wasn't we who voted out Kamala, you know, it's the small island people. Yeah, when it had the hurricane and Kamala said the ATM closed, I was out in the islands, and these people is what's calling, because if all you notice, the whole, most of the garrisons in Trinidad and Tobago developed by the small island people. So these people now, what PNM are accustomed doing is handling them in their country.
What are custom doing, boy? Oh boy. Alright, let me take this one. Morning caller. I'll play back that voice, no just now. Morning caller.
Hey, morning, sir.
Yeah, pleasant good morning to you.
Pleasant morning to you as well, Mr. Andy Williams, and also your guests on here.
Yeah. LENNOX Smith, the co-host, LENNOX Smith. Michael Kerr will be joining us in a while. Welcome to the Gong Report. Go ahead, what can you do? You have a contribution for us this morning?
All right, definitely, man. I just want to say good morning going out to everyone in Trinidad and Tobago. And I would like to thank you for being here on the show, just to speak on behalf of persons with disabilities. I know definitely persons with disabilities make up almost about 6 to 7% of our population. And we're really kind of employing on the government to really take a stock of persons with disabilities as relates to transportation issues. You know, I think that's one of the main issues that persons with disabilities suffer, you know, not being able to move around the country properly, etc. All right, so we're calling on the government to take a special look into the Eldama service coming up to the budget, where we could look at a new fleet of 24 buses for persons with disabilities. Housing is our next issue. We want to be able to ensure that persons with disabilities are afforded housing opportunities where they could be able to not have to pay a rent, you know, because as Andy and LENNOX and the people out there, we know that persons with disabilities only receive a disability grants of only $2,000 a month, monthly. And we know with the rising cost of food and transport, etc., that is something that is, they can't survive on that. They can't pay the bills properly. They can't even pay rent, even much less for food. And we're asking and employing the government to see how best we can be able to, one, make those that are qualified, people want to contribute. They want to get jobs. They want to contribute to society. So if we can continue to pay, raise the disability grant, let them offer them jobs. Stop the discrimination against persons with disabilities. Include them in the grand scheme of things. Because we want to contribute too. I myself, Andy, am a person with a disability, and definitely if I am given an opportunity to come off a grant for $2,000 to get a meaningful job in the government service or any private sector, I will definitely take up the opportunity. But if the opportunity is not being provided for me, and then I have to ensure that I survive, and I had to survive on $66 a day, then so be it. But then we're saying now, at this time, we want to be able to ensure that the disability grant is increased from $2,000 to $3,000 or $2,500 in the next budget, and to ensure that persons with disabilities are given even a food card. And they're like, stop now, because if I continue to just continue my expose in all issues that persons with disability face, accessibility, discrimination, parents with children with disabilities, some parents have to remain home and collect $1,500 for their children, while they had to stay home and ensure, because they can't leave the children undone and go out there to try to look for $1 to bring back home. And these are the issues. We want to ensure that even the parents can be given some type of, even if it's a stipend or even a grant, where they can be able to sustain themselves and their children, people who have children with autism, ADHD, and all these other disorders. That parents can still feel safe knowing that there is something to give them that level of support, because those children need special attention. You understand? So I'll leave it there, and I ask the goodly the ministers, all those persons who are head of authorities, etc., who are and all the NGOs that cater and advocate for the lives of persons with disabilities. Let our voices be heard before the budget now. Let the government know what we really want, because if we remain silent, they will not know what we want. And we want better life for our people. If we're talking about the Sustainable Development Goals 2030 and the Convention for the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which this government has ratified, and they were signed on to and ratified, then we should be in a better place. Persons with disabilities, it shouldn't be going through all what they're going through right now as it is.
Thanks.
And you all have a blessed and wonderful morning, brother. You all have a blessed and wonderful day.
Thanks so much.
My name is Kevin Thomas. My name is Kevin Thomas, President of the Trinidad and Tobago Chapter for Disabled Peoples International.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have you, of course, make your advocacy felt, I think it would have reached where is required. Of course, that there needs to be, as you rightly said, more of that kind of bold and dogmatic approach, because it is needed. Whilst you were speaking, Andy, my mind was thrown back.
What's your name? Again, he's still there, so you could text me.
My name is Kerwin Thomas, President of the Trinidad and Tobago chapter for Disabled Peoples International.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
So what
Trinidad
do we
and
do
Tobago chapter, Disabled People International. Wow.
Yes, in my WhatsApp on that, because I'm going to cut out your contribution. It have some other contributions too that came via voice notes that I'm going to blast it out there, send it out there, where it will hit.
Yes.
Maybe TikTok, this,
So
that.
that it is there for posterity, and it is there at the access to those in authority as well. That is the mission that we have. But I was making a point, Andy, that when he was speaking there, my mind was thrown back to the initiative of the Kamala Prasad Bisesa UNC administration for, well, in that particular case, it would have been cerebral palsy, but also suggests the front burner nature of the and people-centered nature of and understanding those persons who, due to no fault of theirs, would have been differently abled, and as a consequence, the able-bodied people must now, and including the government, must now, allocate resources. It's never enough, but certainly sufficient, so that people will not be making statements like the caller would have made for, of course, the persons that have found themselves in that situation. But of course, one cannot at the same time forget what Hines said when they came into government in 2015, because URP resources was being used to assist the parents with cerebral palsy children, and he said that URP wasn't designed for that purpose. Well, all right, if that is your argument, then design a different program to, of course, assist. But no, take it away and left, of course, the people high and dry and with more challenges than the ordinary person with such I wouldn't say a burden, but certainly a challenge with persons suffering from cerebral palsy. That is a a disability that really and truly it affects the spinal cord and the brain stem of the individual, and therefore they are not a vegetable, but certainly cannot help themselves at all. In some instances, you have to buy Pampers as well because they simply cannot move, and in some instances cannot even wheel a wheelchair. That's to tell you how that particular disability is. And to hear Hines made that statement, it was heart-wrenching and demonstrates the heartlessness of this government. Good morning.
Again, Andy and Lennox.
Yes.
I congratulate Kerwin Thomas for that great contribution he just made there. Mr. Thomas, you mustn't stay quiet, you have to beat that like on the front burner. Because you see Ms. Donna Cox, the woman who in charge of social welfare, she is a heartless woman. Because she sit down there and remove people who was collecting her food card, who paralyzed from the neck down and all kind of thing, and take away these individual food cards. She even removed the gap geriatric patient assistance, right, from persons with disability too. She only giving it to persons who have 65 years and over. And here the thing that Andy, they're only giving them it by contract. So you get a 6-month contract to work for old age person, and then after you're going to renew it. And if they see it fit to give you a renewal, they get another 6 months. So they ain't giving you a person who taking care of you until you pass on or whatever like that. They do it by renewal and contract. And this is what this entire government has been doing, only giving people contract work and removing and cutting people food card. They cutting the if they catch you and the Lennox selling a bottle of water by the corner of the street there, right? Just to supplement that disability grant. They're removing you from that. They say you're strong enough to go and sell water or make a little extra for yourself. That's why you're entitled to no more grant. All these nonsense have to stop. Mr. Thomas had to put it in writing with Minister Cox that we have to stop this kind of unjustified kind of behavior what she doing there with some of these people, because let me face it, Andy, you and Lennox as able-bodied people and all they catching all the uncle and Nenen just to survive the mind of the children. Put all their shoes and the feet of a disabled person who have to face these same things. And the thing is, you're disabled, so you have to pay most of the time for person to do things for you, because nobody doing nothing for free again on charity. Everybody charging a cent and a dime now for everything that they're doing. So Ms. Cox and this government disconnected from people who have a disability and who going through hardship. They're not intact or have any heart for these kind of individuals, because if they see the conditions, the people living under, they have a hard time to study them, right? So this is my point of view. Ms. Cox have to get she acting order. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice. Next caller. Oh boy. The next caller.
And I'm aware of the last caller's plight as well. He too is physically challenged as well, but he makes his human contribution almost on a daily basis on all the platforms, advocating and trying to make things right. And of course, the Prime Minister himself, his statements are so anti.
But hold 1 minute. Let me just finish off these voice notes. And
yes, go ahead, my friend.
Congratulations.
Just now, let me just finish some voice notes. Them the Kingsy you call just now.
Congratulations to Punch in Dago for having such a wonderful event yesterday. Pan and powder. Miss Ramsey Moore and company, thank you very much for such a beautiful event. And also, thanks to the sport company of Trinidad and Tobago for gaining victory and recovering 30 million from that thieving Arnold Roberts from Live Sport. Congrats, everything going the way of the PNM. Great is the PNM and its guts.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 the boy from Malacca, and I get matches from the ODPL. I get them stress of goals from the ODPL. And I want to get some 2x4 because soon if I some post in my home that will I see it out, and I want to brace it back up in a row and right on my home. And I begin to go to citizens of this country to get help out because rolling may help nobody in this country. Rolling money is going to achieve the money in the country. Short on import we complete or start the thing. Just want to go ahead and bring out monkeypox injection. But who wants to run and ticket or the run and ticket? According to Rolly, who dead and who live brave. But you could listen to the country not gonna take no injection again. All that thing done. Andy, please I beg you, my number is 723-1480. 723-1480.
Man said we're going to monkeypox injection just right. Let me hear the next one.
No, there is an injection, M injection. Yeah. They don't call it monkeypox again. They call it M injection. I mean Mpox. But go ahead.
Mpox.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what going on with this Prime Minister here, This Prime Minister looking for unnecessary thing to do in the country. This could have harmed his study and wherever. That is not necessary right now, Right now, this man.
Just now, Kingsy, after the voice
notes. This man needs to settle all negotiation and make sure he get the monkey off his back. That is more important. You're looking for things to do when not really important to the nation right now. Right now, you're owing public servant. Get rid of that. You said don't get for 9 years. You haven't bring nothing to the table. You haven't boosted the economy. You haven't jumpstarted the economy. You have people up and down like a headless chicken up and down looking for work. You create more pain problems to the nation. More killing, more crime, more house breaking in. And all problems all over the place. You run on all these ministries I don't know if you take back the contract from the people and them who just patch the road. But as Wasa dig up, nobody coming back to patch back all them hole and them Wasa dig up. So that could be our next set of money to resheet our road again, and it's like we're going backward instead of we going forward. Where are you going on with you? Your agency run down, run right down. After Julian John build it up, or they run it down, or they dry it up. It's like grass can't grow in that company anymore. The tenant and them have to dip in the pocket to buy, to maintain the building or the apartment. The workers and them sit down there, or they want them look redundant. Yeah, you send a managing director, like she don't know the head from she foot. All she come to do is to check me, and that is all.
You sound like an angry worker, boy. Yes, I see that we have a communication problem. I'm not hearing you from on this end, Andy. Bear with us, of course, on the corridor. There may have been some technical issue. That's why you are not hearing, because if I'm not hearing, it means that you are not hearing either, since the system is such that it has to pass through our facility here on George Street before, of course, it reaches you. Once you are on the corridor transformation, so I will be mono for the time being. And I think that caller has put things in perspective, but I was making the point earlier about Dr. Bowley's statement with respect to welfare in this country. And it's very troubling because, I mean, he keeps battering that over $4 billion is spent on social welfare, suggesting that somehow it is unproductive money and that the government had the option of not making it available, so that people should feel not just gratified, but feel somehow that they have been special because that fund has been available. I mean, and totally not understanding the concept of the welfare state that found its genesis in the United Kingdom and has spread throughout, particularly the Western world, where it was recognized that there are some segments of the society that may not be able to take care of themselves, and so the state has that responsibility. Rowley makes it believe as though, try to make us believe that somehow it's a privilege to put aside $4 billion every year. And that has been so from time immemorial. There has always been a Ministry of Social Development to take care of those who would have otherwise fallen through the cracks because they simply are unable physically, mentally, and otherwise, and materially, to take care of themselves. And therefore, it is very dishonest, not just disingenuous, but very dishonest of Dr. Rowley to pretend that somehow the state is making those funds available, and therefore you should be privileged, you should feel privileged, you should feel a debt of gratitude for that resources being available. And he always speaks that in the context of availability of funds. He, of course, head of a government that has not been able to augment or broaden or increase or expand the GDP of the country, and that is part of his job. But having been delinquent in that regard, having not been able to do that fundamental, because what he's going to tell us that people must stop making children. The numbers every year will increase incrementally in terms of population size, but you have a duty as government to cater for the population. That is your job, and therefore it means you must have a plan and program that is sufficiently successful and with the appropriate flexibility and sensitivity to understand that and therefore cater for. But Rowley believes that the population is probably static and that those members of the society that have found themselves in that situation where they are disabled or differently able, as the term is used these days, and that, you get the feeling that they should not exist. Yeah, that is what comes to my mind when a man could be repeatedly talking that talk. And then, of course, you have the ministers themselves. We have Cockburn and now we have Donna Cox making statements that give them some kind of steroid, some kind of hype, that they take pleasure in taking away 11,000 food cards. I remember that some years ago with respect to Cockburn, the first Minister of Social Development under this administration, the Rowley administration. And then Cox, of course, during COVID, and people were lining up to get groceries outside of the government supply. And she would make the statement that they were greedy. You have persons who are unfit to be in such position find themselves there because of the inability of Dr. Rowley to evaluate appropriate persons to perform in the areas as far as ministerial responsibility is concerned. And when you have these hard-hearted people in these various ministries, square peg and round hole, you can only expect down the road incompetence, impotence, and the inability to manage the affairs of the country. That is the natural corollary.
To perform in.
That is the natural corollary of all of that. And therefore we must be conscious as a people that Rowley and they see government as their own little domain to do what? To line their respective pockets, who they prefer and rather, and who they designate as good material for the largesse of the state and utilize the state and therefore the state resources and therefore governance or govern for that purpose. And I say that is a betrayal, that is wicked, that is evil, that is diabolical, that is satanic. And Dr. Rowley and they have run the course. We know who they are, and therefore no one must be at this stage so naive, including sycophants and apologists, to give this man another chance on the next occasion that is inevitable. No way. No way. No way. We try to get, of course, communication back with the ground report, Andy. I am not seeing any signs that there is a problem on the system, but certainly we are not getting audio from Andy at this point in time. I don't know if he's hearing me because my mic is open. I don't know if he's trying to get me or we are cross-purposing. I don't know. But on the corridor transformation, those of you who are here, I thought it was important, of course, to fill the gap. In the meantime, whilst, of course, we are rectifying that anomaly. So I thought it was important to treat with that. Of course, as I said, the experience recently of the PNM so-called constitutional reform, and while, of course, I took note as well, whilst he was making the case for his action to put a committee together to look at the Constitution, and of course equating it to the Hugh Whidden Committee and all of that, previous ones under Eric William and other prime ministers. I mean, this man is full of himself. He was making the point about only 3, I believe, political parties made contributions to the committee, whether in writing or in person. but I remember he was saying MSJ, I believe, was one of them. I think NTA and another one. But he was castigating the UNC for not making their contribution. However, it appears that he omitted to mention that the PNM did not, well, from what he has said, because he did not say the PNM was one of those three. So one has to assume that the PNM did not make any contribution to, of course, the preliminary or the substantive stages of engaging the population on this question of constitutional reform. So I thought it very hilarious, and that he seemed to be oblivious to that clear and conspicuous omission that he mentioned 3 political parties, none of which would have been PNM or UNC, but began to castigate the UNC for not making their contribution, whilst not mentioning in those 3 political parties that made contributions to the committee, the PNM was not one of them. I mean, the man has just simply gone mad. And then, of course, holding a convention to address the report of that particular committee that he initiated. And we are none the wiser and cannot distinguish, cannot generate the dichotomy, whether that is a national or supposed to be a national consultation with the presence of the Prime Minister, evaluating, of course, or generating a discourse with the public, or was it a PNM exercise where the PNM itself as an entity, as everybody else in the country, and including, of course, institutions, have a right to make their contribution. You see, I say so from the perspective that there is clear evidence that state resources was used to manufacture that exercise of the PNM having a convention to look at that particular report of that Constitution Committee assembled by him. And then, of course, he went on to make, again, deliberate in my view, because he cannot not know, because he mentioned that, of course, the only person that could be claimed to be connected to the PNM on that committee, making justification, because there are experts that are saying that, well, the UNC or the substantive opposition had a right to be part and parcel of some kind of bipartisan decision to determine who should be members of that committee. So he put the committee together. He arrogated onto himself that putting that committee together, claiming that they are independent, and his claim to fame on that score is that the chairman is the only person connected to the PNM, a former Speaker of the House. I mean, this man is dishonest to the core, and he can't help it, because another notable individual on that committee is Helen Drayton. And everybody would know, particularly from the opposition side, that Helen Drayton was the independent senator, the so-called independent senator, who called on Kamala Prasad Bisesa leading up to the 2015 general elections to call the elections. I cannot see how he could put that person there and say that she's not connected to the PNM. But just in case you may have doubts that this man is just a habitual and spontaneous liar, and he forgets what even his own lies are, or leading up to the intent of those lies. One of the first persons to get an appointment when the PNM came into office under Rowley in 2015 was Helen Drayton. She was made chairman, now known as TTT, but then it was CNMG. Yeah. How devoid of PNM credentials is she? But then the mere fact that you made someone who has deep roots in the PNM, the chairman, speaks volume in itself. But he tries to justify the unjustifiable, and that is why one has to conclude that the man has gone stark mad. I think he is in cognitive, he is in intellectual as well as cerebral decline. I remember when he is speaking, he Rowley is speaking of the Latin expression non compos mentis. It means in English, it's a Latin expression, but it means in English of unsound mind. Because clearly that bipolarism and that schizophrenic propensity can only be attributed to someone who has lost his or her marbles. And the man is deep in the losing of the gray matter, which of course is considered to be crucial for the brain to function from a healthy perspective. Yes, so he did say that, and he repeated that, of course, at La Hoketa, subsequent to the convention, and then telling us, if you hear from him, that somehow those two exercises were major exercises in the country, probably major for him, major for the PNM, but certainly not the population. And as I said last night when I made the comparison between his 24 hours posting by what is called PNM TV, 24 hours. They took a snapshot, a screenshot of that side by side with the corridor transformation that carried the ground report yesterday morning. So by that time it would have been something like 9 hours. And the ground report video carried on the corridor transformation, which is what you are listening to now, had over 900 viewers after 24 hours. The PNM TV carrying, of course, Dr. Rowley's speech, the Prime Minister's speech, the head of the party speech, the sitting head of government today, just about 500 views. As I said this morning, I think I have made the argument that there's much, much, much to be desired. And clearly, the population has had enough of the shenanigans and the deceptions and the old talk and the incompetence and the criminal propensity and the evil policies and programs associated with the Rowley administration. I'm trying to get the communication back with Andy. I've left the mic open so he would make an intervention if necessary. If I am in any way causing confusion, but I've not heard from him. I've left my mic open so that he would hear that I'm speaking on this side to, of course, the audience that are attached to the corridor transformation. So it appears that we have had some break in communication between Real Media and... Oh, are you there, Andy?
No. It's a bit break in connection, I believe.
Oh, yes. All right. Well, Mikey, you are those on corridor will be hearing you because I'm talking to the corridor viewers. So,
all right.
So there is a break.
I believe. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you, of course, loud and
clear.
Yeah,
but we're not hearing him. That's something that we had last week. We are still, of course, in the nascent stage of getting a handle on this technology. So we're not going to be perfect every day, but we expect to be relatively perfect as opposed to frustrating anybody who would be taking their dose, their cup of coffee every morning, which of course is the ground report. So I don't know if you want to make an intervention now or you have something to say that the audience on the corridor side would be able to glean from?
Well, just a pleasant good morning, of course. Kick things off a bit. I would definitely like to see we can get back with him. Yeah, just to let you know about, the dengue cases have gone now. It's
Yeah, boy, over 900.
about 900.
Yes, yes.
It has risen to 911, and while health authorities have clamped down on property owners with unkept premises, a statement came out from the Ministry of Health yesterday that there are 911 laboratory confirmed cases of dengue fever.
Wow.
And while deaths related to the illness remain at 8, but we don't know how accurate that is because some people are saying it's more than 8 deaths. However, it's being recorded. Some are still out. The verdict is still out on some. And this means that.
You know what to do for we, Mikey? We know
All
we
right,
are
great.
here again, right? So just start over how we start or what it is was saying.
Right, great. All right, so
All right, we have
I can pause now. So I will pause, Mikey,
Well,
and you take over now that we have recommunicated across the board. Mikey, go
you
ahead.
staying on?
Huh?
Oh, you're still on?
Yeah. I'm still on. Just that I will
Okay.
I will morph into the background and you take over.
Well, we had what happened there, Andy, is that we were talking. You were nowhere there in that part, so you're back in. So good morning to you, my brother Andy Pitbull William.
Wasn't there?
And we were talking, we were conversing over there.
Yeah, because we were on only on corridor though. Yeah.
Okay. So those on corridor would have heard us.
Yes.
No, we spoke about it, the dengue fever cases, which have risen to 911 locally. And they say also this means that confirmed cases have increased by 86. And calls have continued for the public to maintain clean surroundings and thus minimizing potential breeding grounds of the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which can spread the virus after biting an infected person. And usually they say it happens in the evening time. So if you're out there, perhaps relaxing in what we call the gallery, the porch, whatever, you have to be careful. But again, this shows total incompetence by what is taking place under the guidance of the delicing. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, he told us that since January they were putting things in place to deal with this because they expected, of course, around this time that you have these situations taking place with dengue. But since January, and of course, then we hear enough spraying wasn't done. Then he came back and told us that you can't overspray because the mosquito will start to get immune, not affected by the spraying. And then you heard, of course, they had no vehicles at one point, but yet they had vehicles for inspectors to come out to give you tickets to charge you. I mean, the whole thing is a mess, and it just brings you right back to how the mismanagement of the whole COVID pandemic was handled by this administration. I mean, so be careful out there. 911 cases, but some people are saying that there are more deaths but not being recorded. So we have to look at that as well. I tell you. And you're still hearing me, right?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
We are.
Yes.
Right, and the 2024 murder toll has crossed the 400 mark earlier this year than in the last 5 years. Now, there are some. Here we go again. Some people are disputing the figures because they're saying that they themselves know that there are people who were murdered and it's not being recorded. So with the killings of the 5-year-old Anika and her 34-year-old father and Enrico Guerra on Tuesday night in Moruga, the toll for 2024 has risen to 401. And in comparative for the same period last year was 379.
Okay.
Last year was 379.
So last year around this time it was 379.
379.
And now it's 401.
401, but the figures can be disputed.
That might be disputed. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It could be more.
In other words, it could be more, but it can't be less. But it could be more.
It can be, yeah. One criminologist. One criminologist predicted that the annual murder toll could climb to a whopping 710 by 2030 if action is not taken to deal with societal issues and other causes of crime in this country. Huh. Boy, I don't know. And you have I mean, I don't, again. So, who's on the out? I mean, these were just some of the things to look at, how serious the situation here is in this country. And even Tutor is saying that they were in the dark as to how the migrant children would be in these learning institutions. They were in the dark about that and what have you. So I don't know. I really don't know. Who's on the outside?
But one thing, gentlemen, we have a caller. Go ahead, caller.
And don't forget, you had that murder last night in Tobago. 7 get hit.
Oh yes, so yes, the record has been broken again. 20 now.
Like 20 or 21, because I heard about yesterday. It had some killing yesterday.
Well, don't hold me to it. It could be 21. Could be 21. I wouldn't be surprised. But the last I had was 20. Which, but prior to that, would have been the highest rate would have been 19 achieved, and now of course is higher than the 19, for sure.
Pinky is saying that the mother told to what they know at this point is 410.
Andy, Mikey, and
yes, morning.
Smithy, good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
I was listening to the program attentively this morning, and there was a young man who says he's the president of, I don't want to get the organization wrong, but something to do with underprivileged or
disability, disability, the local chapter of the international organization, yes.
Right. But you know what is really disconcerting to me? He was flowery in his words, but he didn't come out and say, we have to move KCR. Listen back to that commentary. He went all around the place telling us all the problems they have, and I feel for them. But we have to go back to 2015. And remember, there's an old Chinese proverb that was basically formulated in Africa. They say, when you feed the hand that feed you, you must not bite it. And let us look at some of the issues and the challenges that the partnership did for these people. Remember the baby grant? Remember the transportation system where the handicapped could have called in and they could have picked them up? All of these things, you were getting it. 9 years now, the people who you voted for have started to punish you. And you're not being honest to yourself and say, look, let us go back to what and who was feeding us and who was trying to make us a better place. 9 years after, we worse off than before. All of these challenges, all of these things, we feel for those people. And you commented on the nasty statement made by Fitzy.
Yes.
And that is in our making. We, the citizens of the people, put KCR to treat us badly. And that is what he's doing. But none of them have come out. Listen to them. None of them, they're acting for this minister. Which minister is performing? Which minister is listening to them? All the ministers treat them with disrespect. And you know what my heart bleeds for this morning? 5.6 bullets in the body of a child. Andrea Barrett didn't shake me up. The other two people didn't shake me up for the children. The children can't go in the yard and play now because they could be collateral damage that Patrick Manning said it was. They can't go in the field, the football field, and play in the night because one of them go say the wrong place and wrong time. Imagine a baby in the mother's hand. That is a baby 5-year-old. And that is the outcome. And you have ministers, two of them now. You had the fella from South. What he's saying about it? Murder again in Tobago. What he's doing? He wants to sell at cold pot. He wants to put the police service with short pants and bicycle. I go on, and I'm fed up with them this morning. Anytime they come on, tell them what they had to say, Rowley had to go. I go on.
I hear you. That's a view. But, gentlemen,
Go ahead.
Yeah, but gentlemen, it's becoming so pellucid, so plain, so conspicuous that every time this government seemed to have a handle on a problem that was intractable to them, every time they prefer a solution, it becomes worse. I mean, here it is. You just employed a man specialized only to treat with police matters, law enforcement, and relegate, of course, the former, what I consider to be a minister, to other issues. But here it is. We have an escalation in the problem. And if you leave it alone, you are dissatisfied as well. And it has happened too often with this government not to be concerned. They promise a better economy. It is in tatters. They tell us that the Heritage and Civilization Fund is all right. It is in tatters. They tell us that young people are going to now have more opportunities. We see that is just superficial and superfluous, and we can go on and on. Every single time that happens, some solution is preferred. It seems to get worse. So it's as if they are cursed, and you have to start to believe something other than practical human interaction to solve this problem, because this group of individuals seem to be totally blight.
Oh boy, let me play out some voice notes there.
Yes, go ahead, my friend.
I was inviting calls, so if I go into voice notes, I wouldn't take the calls. So again, I'm gonna give you callers an opportunity again and call out you 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. We'll give you a WhatsApp call at 366-3053, 366-3053. WhatsApp call or a WhatsApp voice note.
Of course, somebody noted the situation with the pandemic, and then of course now with dengue, similar pattern of behavior. Tell us everything is all right. God is a Trinity, and then something descends upon us that makes us panic. That makes it atrocious. I mean, these fellas must know that they have come to the end of their natural life in terms of politics and should be getting out visibly.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning.
Andy, Mikey, and Lennox Smith. This is Juice. Now, here we are telling all you to do. You see that voice note that Mr. Porter Spain just sent? I want to let Senator Anna Roberts, right? Because it's time people start to understand that telling lies and bearing false witness have consequences, right? Watch me. Watch me. You see, when you hold one and they're wringing neck, the others go fall in line, right? With the speed that they're going with, right? So please, Andy, forward that voice note to Anna Roberts, right? They must go and live in front of Royal Bank on Broadway, right? You go pass and you give them $1. All right? Take care.
Yeah, I didn't take it on, Andy. You know.
In the background, Lennox Smith.
Yeah, you noticed when he spoke that I was laughing, but I omitted because we had a little break there in communication. So it passed me, but this caller clearly brought it to light. The decision of the court is that the sports company was awarded $30 million of the because I understand the sum is $34 million. However, the person who is to pay back that money has died over well, we know. Let's face it. For the first time, you know by brother Carl's, the late brother Carl's brother. So we were very familiar, and he was challenging the matter. Clearly, he has died. So the matter has died with him. This fella didn't read the entire article, but of course, any port for a storm, for opportunity to castigate and to, of course, mislead, as the caller rightly said, and therefore the state has nothing to collect because the matter would have died with him. Because I'm sure
Nice. So the
that
matter died.
issues such as appeal and all of that, who would appeal? Who would appeal if there's an appeal? So is a false glory, false, because everybody knew that he received the money, so that is nothing new. And if the court decides now that he should pay, they have decided, but there's no payment to get, and it has nothing to do with Annie Roberts. How Annie Roberts come in that?
Nice. So let me continue with the voice notes then.
Yes, go ahead, my friend.
Yes. Time check is 4 minutes past the hour, so I have about 10 or 12 voice notes that I need to get cleared. Oh boy, because these is the things that will be pushed out there. That was on the ground report.
It's not Annie Roberts was sued, so I don't understand how he's glorifying in that misinformation and disinformation. So you're quite right, my friend. You should sue his tail for that misrepresentation of the outcome of that matter.
Nice.
Gentlemen, good morning. Last week Sunday, I was at a friend's home, just about 2 blocks away from me, and I saw 10 illegal Venezuelans enter the area. That is only then. What about during the course of the week? How many is coming into this country? Why nobody isn't doing anything about it? Central is like Tucupita, a little Tucupita. I hope someone does something about it, who is in authority, which I know they are not going to. But thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Pause whatever any background, Lennox Smith, please.
No, I don't. I don't have a background issue. I do? No. No, I don't have a background issue, Andy.
Yeah, nothing on my side. There's nothing on my side. So I'm hearing it too. What Andy is saying, I'm hearing it too.
You hearing it? I don't have it. So check yours. Check yourself, Andy.
Is there anything on in the background, Lennox? Anything at all?
On my side, no.
Okay, all right.
That's all right.
On my side, there's nothing on my side. I'm hearing it too. What Andy is saying, I'm hearing it.
That feedback is not from on my side. That feedback going on there with Lennox and the corridor transformation and whatever it is, they're feeding back on this side.
On my side, no. Okay. On my side, there's nothing on my side. What Andy is saying, I'm hearing it.
Yeah, how we going to? Right. So let me just organize. Look at go now.
Yeah, well, and I did nothing, so it had to be on your side, Andy.
Okay. Nice. Let's go to the line. Let's go again.
Gentlemen, good morning.
Oh, we get this one.
Good morning. Oh, we have a voice note. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Voice note? Oh, okay. And no one online. We have nobody online. Okay, go ahead.
And Pulita and steel pan and 2 machine gun in the coat of arms and a bunch of banana. Right? Take them 3 boats and give the Coast Guard it. So they could man the borders in this country within them Venezuelans can't come in the country. Right now, we have more Venezuelans than citizens in this country. Right? And them be the one that cause any crime in this country. Them be the wicked one. Moldovans and all them killers here in this country. Right? So that is what going on in my little country. My little Trinidad and Tobago. So we under siege with the Spanish and them man. Rolly is the one who encouraging it. Right? He and Short and Botana, we come to their Rasa. He the Minister of Security and them doing nothing for the citizens of this country. They had the citizens of the country under siege. Have a blessed and pleasant day. This is my address here.
Nice.
Andy, Mighty K, Lennox Smith, pleasant good morning. Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. Central here. Andy, we love any contribution that coming in this morning. Oh my God, it is nice. The burners is burning clean. They have no static. It's burning lovely. You understand? Those contributions are coming in so far is very, very nice. You understand? This is all what Trinbagonians have to do, you know. Come together, unite, and understand each other. Because at the end of the day, our children is the future of this country. You understand? And if we don't put things in place for them, they have nothing to turn to. You understand? So even though that people thinking, well, hey, you go and you had to vote back this can't perform government. You're losing out something if you vote for them, you know. No, darling. Oh, no, sir. We're looking to get betterment in this country because these people are there going on 10 years now and there's nothing, absolutely nothing they can prove to say that they have done. You can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can't see it. You understand? That is what PNM stands for. So we have to come together as Trinbagonians and understand, no matter how much just shuffle up, they put coal pot here, they put this next one so, they do all kind of things and it's still working out. You know what it is? That is according to what they're saying. Square hole in wrong pegs. Or wrong pegs in square hole. Either or. You understand? So the whole thing about it is, we just have to get rid of this non-performing, dirty, bad mind, corrupted, can't perform, can't run a country, thieving, government, out of power. Once we come together as a Trinbagonian people, we will be able to get our problem resolved out. And as soon as a right-thinking government come back in office, the first thing I have to deal with is sending back these migrants and them. Because these people and them just stepping up the crime in this place. They're adding in more than what it is already. Right? The government have no intentions. They have nothing in common to see what could solve crime right now in this place. Crime is out of hand and it is out of control. You understand what I'm saying? And these people and them come here and they're just adding on. You understand? That's why the children going and start to go to school here. What really going to take place here? They don't even talking and saying here was them place. They say here was them island. You understand? When I catch myself, I say, what kind of madness are here in here? They said this was part of their country. So easy and easy, piece by piece. What I'm trying to say, these people are coming back for the country. Oh God, Trinbago, me and all, let come together now, man. Let me come together and get rid of these people and them once and for all, please now. So we can get some proper governmentants in this place, please now. Let me get some better people to run these places now. And yes, all these government institutions, all these places and them, it is run down. Certain parts of government buildings don't even have a phone. You hear what I'm telling you? They said calling these certain places and them they don't even have the phone because they said they take back the phones because nobody's not paying the phone bills. The government is not paying for any phone bills. I want to take too long on this voice note. You understand what I'm saying? All you know to all yourself Trinbagonians, all you go places, all you experience things. Don't ask for the public health. That's a whole case by itself. You understand what we're saying? So let us come together and vote like we never voted before and get rid of this wicked, dirty PNM government. Please! I reach the state that I'm begging all you. So come on board and let we see the difference what will take place. Once we get rid of this dirty PNM out, all you go see performance in this place. And it's that handy. And yes, all these government institutions, all these places and them, it just run down. Certain parts of government buildings don't even have a phone.
You getting a feedback, boy?
Yeah, boy.
And when you're calling these certain places and them to do it because they said they take back the phones because nobody's not paying the phone bills. The government.
Is this gone?
Well, which part that is, boy? Because not a like it's zombie in this place, boy.
So come on board and we once we get rid of this dirty PNM, we get all of the performance in this place and it's that and yes, all these government institutions on this place
Wow. All right.
That's as if
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
we got it twice. Yeah,
Yeah.
gentlemen,
Go
I
ahead.
have been viewing. I don't know if it's me you're talking to or a caller.
Yeah, you go ahead. You
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk. I just people
I
and
have
see.
been looking
Yeah.
at and putting together a montage of the various what I consider to be comic pictures that are being circulated on social media as far as the when well, after the announcement was made with respect to the replacement of the three Columbus ships for that of the steel pan. And very interesting. I put it together. I see yesterday, of course, after we left each other, I saw another one where, of course, the two balisay on at the top near the helmet, plus two guns as well, and Rowley's face in the middle. And so on. There's another one prior to that, a bottle of punch and rum, a roti on the other side, a gun in the center, and people with, of course, these very hilarious photos. I will appreciate if you can send it to Andy, and I will of course get it or get them so that I will be able to put the entire thing together, because it's a demonstration of people's creativity, but at the same time inside of their bellowing disgust and contempt for this idea and this man, and he continues, of course, oblivious to all of these upsetting consequence, and there's a deeper connotation, and that is the decimation, or the, should I say, the disrespect for our national emblem. Before Rowley made his pronouncement, nobody would have contemplated the level of destruction and the level of disrespect for our national emblem. As soon as he make the decision, they say, all right, I have the right to put up a bottle of punching on one side, and of course a roti on the next side, and a gun in the middle, symbolizing, of course, what the crime and criminality in the country clearly. And Rowley's face in one instance, I would interpret that to mean the level of incompetence, impotence, and corruption that is, of course, the government of the day. And then, of course, the balisay on either side of the shield at the top to suggest that that is a criminal enterprise that has, of course, become the existential threat to our democracy. And we can go on and on. So I would want to get as much of them as possible and put them together so that I can make my own interpretation, one, but at the same time share it with others to show what is the typical bright idea of Dr. Rowley that turns out to be zero, zilch, nothing, superficial and superfluous, and of course contemptuous, the people's contempt for such an asinine idea.
Oh boy, well, we're supposed to be in order there.
Right? So that technical issue has been solved. Right, good. Yeah.
We're supposed to be in order.
It seems so that's been so. But are the lines open? Are we getting any folks? Good morning to each and every one again. Make your contribution. What did you think about last night's address by the political leader? Are you getting involved? Are you partaking in whatever volunteer work? That's basically where we need to have people understanding that you have to get involved. You must get involved. So I don't know if the line's open or...
Good morning.
Morning, caller. Go right ahead, caller, once you get in.
Nice.
But what would have been the highlight for you, Andy, Mikey? Because I not yet looked at the what transpired at that UNC event.
Go ahead, caller.
Oh, go ahead, caller.
Oh boy. Oh boy, you have on the lines for so long, boy.
Oh, you on the line, boy?
Sorry about that. But we had a little problem we had to sort out.
for 19 minutes. I on the line here, Andy.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
you're a true patriot boy. You're a true patriot boy. You're a passionate fella.
No, you can't do the king of the airwaves that. You're mad or what?
Well, maybe he was getting the feedback from because he looking to see, so it had to be the feedback maybe was coming from he because he
It's
old.
from me.
Yeah.
It was from my
It could be. It could
phone,
be.
Andy.
Yeah.
It was from my
It's all your phone.
Oh,
I don't know. I
he
say,
wanted you to know. He wanted you to know that he's there. He wanted you to know. You can't. You can't keep the king of the airwaves on so long, man. Go ahead, Your Majesty. Go ahead, Your Majesty. Go ahead.
The voice not in the mind, man. The voice not in the mind. It's all well and good. It's all well and good. And but they know it have voice noters and it have callers too, man. So make some time for the callers.
Yes.
But I want to say is this: after listening to Dr. Rowdy, I want to ask him this. After coming from pan and powder, he decided to go on his social media. I don't know if it was water he was drinking or something, but after he drink that water, he now realize a 5 will get shoot because I think you answered after 24 hours you make a response. And I want to ask the question here now because I want to ask Dr. Rowdy. Every time I try to get killed in this country, you go on social media and you say nice things and you be passionate. I want to ask you, is a crime plan? Because you tell us and the government tell us that we have no crime plan. You have 2 ministers of national security and they failed that young girl. They failed her. And they failed all children dead in the last 9 years. You have 2 ministers of national security. You have advisors of national security around you. And you are telling me, I want to believe that because if we don't have vehicles, police vehicles, when somebody calls for crime, and the commissioner must answer that. Why we have so much of vehicles to go out on the highway to give people ticket to make money for the government? We ask the question, where all that millions of dollars we get in the last 3 years from taxpayers' money, where it gone? Who pocket it gone in? Who pocket it fit in? It's sad to see that Dr. Rowdy is taking social media to be his crime plan. That what Dr. Rowdy is doing, is taking social media to be his crime plan. And it is an evil act. Because Dr. Rowdy grandchildren safe. His children in America and here safe. Dr. Rowdy safe. Pan and powder and 4 get killed last night in Tobago. Pan and powder and PNM. PNM, pan and powder. And 4 get killed in this country. I don't know nothing about the UN. This is about country. This is about saving life. This is about bread and butter. And you are telling me we taking this thing for joke. We don't understand that this is the biggest, since 1962 we never have a political fight like this. This is the biggest political fight we have to fight. And we can't fight soft. We have to talk unity. We have to talk togetherness. We have to talk everybody on board. Because as I said some months back, when you feel PNM must go alone, PNM do not go alone. They make deals behind the back of the scenes. They make deals behind the back of the scenes with political parties to stay quiet, don't say nothing, because the opposition. They make deals with financiers. They make deals. PNM doesn't go alone. They go alone in the front. That is the metal. For years they do that. They make the deals behind the scenes. PNM thief smart. We know that the safe of God, PNM thief smart and the UNC thief too brave. That's what the old saying is. The PNM thief smart and the UNC thief brave. That's what the PNM don't get catch thieving. I want to tell this country, this is not the first time I let a toddler get killed in this country. And last night, I cry again because I went down Frederick Street and I see the thousands of people come out for pan. Of that little girl gone and she dying, and them come to be pan. They enjoying pan. They promoting pan. I want to do the promoting pan because they want to put the coat of arms, the pan on the coat of arms. And children is dying in this country, and we have no crime plan. When a nation lost in children is hell on we. Or you're stupid or what? Or you're ignorant or what? We lost in children, we lost in. It's children, we lost in our features, we lost in, and it's okay. Or you're stupid country boy. It's Indian and African fighting, and it's children, we lost in by. Or you don't care. And we calling every day. Voice note, social media, and we as a people not taking a stand. So as I close, because I'm vexed. I want to tell Dr. Rowley, all the Tobago boy, you're the worst boy. Hey, I want to make it clear. I have a passionate of, I don't hate people, God knows. But I want to make it clear, I have a passionate of political hate for Dr. Rowley. I never know this man tell us why black people suffering under manning. No African contract. Today, every time you leave the savannah, you see Chinese working, they go Martin, carnage, and he tell us that boy, he tell us from Dr. Rowley, if Dr. Rowley only one thing, Dr. Rowley, if people could only turn them back and that's pretty on the sea boy. Because you see the you is that shit in the action boy. You is the worst thing we could ever think about. Worst thing, again, emotional, so I'm going to go. Cussing mother boy.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Don't cussy mother here, Papa. Go on your social media under Kingsley. And boy, you could cuss him mother, father, sister, brother, everybody there, boy. Oh, God. I started to get frightened there, you know. Dr. Rowley like the East End and Kingsley mad. Yeah, look at those Jumbie working on him, boy. You say, pan. Well, let me organize and play out some voice notes there if it's so. But the lines are open for the callers. Who just call, only make your calls before I start to play these voice notes. And go ahead, caller.
You know, Andy, this panting they keep, PNM keep. I hear it's about $25 million they're spending on that. Eh? What kind of thing is that, boy? And when children get killed, they must study who they vote for, eh? They must study who they vote for. Andy, this man they call Warner. This man so brass-faced to go and challenge the court after he done illegal quarrying. Andy?
Yeah, we listening. Yeah, we listening.
Frank Sipasad, Andy partner, dealt him a serious blow. But go ahead.
And you know, they gone with the intention that they could sue this country. Now, that's a really wrong thing. I want to sue it. And if, boy, hey, these people know wickedness in their boy. How come the police and Ola and the DPP and lock up that man yet? How come illegal quarry? Andy, if you see down in the east here, if you see the size of them hole, them illegal quarry live 200-300 feet deep and as big by 500 feet by 500 feet wide. If you see how they dig up this place in the east here, and no
Which part did they up?
On the east, the quarry.
Right. What area? Remember, there's different areas that do quarry. In what area you see them big
whole
wood?
area, boy. All the whole area in Valencia and all about, boy. What is wrong with all you, boy? Look, come and see it, boy.
All right. Whole 500 feet deep.
Boy, come and see Agostina, boy. Come on, Agostina, man. A man want to give you a call. They say, we can't come now, man. Andy, I ain't finished yet. Here we're going on. All this quarrying taking place and the government is collecting nothing from it. And this quarrying is taking place in forest reserve. That is preserve the water table. All what Sinanan doing there and that the PNM government doing building that Komoto Highway. All that is forest reserve. About 50,000 acres of land was bulldozed to pass a highway to come to make more traffic jam by Guayco Junction. If you see equipment there, about 20 heavy equipment they pack up by Guayco Junction. You know what is the cost of that to rent per day? Must be about $1 million per day. And they can't finish the highway yet. You have that road coming out. They one from Guayco to Mana, one from Marima, the other one 2 from Grandi. Like 5 roads coming to meet at one little junction. Like this PNM like confusion and bacchanal, boy. I don't know which government could come there and undo and deal with all this bacchanal and confusion and wickedness and evilness that they're doing now. $25 million to keep Pan. Pan, and I don't know what his name and the other thing. And thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, any other calls? Let me see. Morning caller. Morning caller. All right.
But gentlemen, is that far-fetched?
Hey, Andy, morning, Lennox, Mikey K, the ground reporter, social media. Good morning, worldwide. Good morning, each and everyone, all on Sunday. Hey, Andy, on the basis these murders are taking place here, it's really out of hand. But then again, I have a twist to this thing because at the end of the day, we have a law stating that and the reason why I'm saying, and the reason why I'm going at this direction because of the 16-year-old that get killed. We have a law stating when a child reach 18 years, they reach adulthood, and the parents have no restriction over them because so far children doing what they want as they reach 18, you know. And to me, that is a bad law. Like to me, the system give up on we train and give away we train. Because at the end of the day, a parent can really talk to a child or tell a child that when they reach it, because they tell themselves that the rich man and woman, you know. And that is how we try and get in law, so you know. And to me, I find that a stupid law. You know. We're supposed to still have restriction over we kids and things and able to govern we train and them and a dog. But as these young ladies and young men tell themselves they reach 18 years, that is it and a dog. We have no control again, you know. Boy. I'll leave that. I want Lennox to buckle on that bar. I want Lennox to tell me something. Give me some kind. If I'm wrong, or let tell me I'm wrong. I look on and listen, but I'm mad at because the country going haywire. Crime out of proportion. The government has no hold on crime. Things just going haywire. I'm mad. Rowley and all sending me mad.
Yeah.
Guys, all the king of the airways? That illiterate idiot? Guys, all the king of the airways? Kingsley, Gambia. Right.
Oh, God.
And of course, the truth does offend, and the people, of course, will be annoyed, and that is reflected in many ways.
You can't be disrespecting Kingsley, so you mad. You can't do that. No. A man like Kingsley, well, you're mad. What's wrong with next word? You want to start disrespecting COP? No, that can't happen. No. Show some respect, man. Who on the outside?
Yes, let's invite. Let's invite. But gentlemen, it's not far-fetched to hear and witness the PNM. I say witness here very specifically because they did it in the local government elections of last year, August, when they began to literally poach on UNC members. Of course, a party and members who they say stridently to their sycophants and their apologists that everybody there corrupt, that of course they are persona non grata, and all of the vitriolic and excoriating statements that come out of Rowley mouth, of course, Imbert, and we could do talk for Heinz, etc. And these are the very people that they are now paying to invite them into their party in order to take up positions. I mean, it is ironic, but for me, it demonstrates the level of not just desperation, but the level of lack of resource and talent in the PNM. So Rowley now has to resort, the party has to resort now to the very people who they live, their whole raison d'etre, their whole reason for existence, and why they are in government there, because they were able successfully to propagate a propaganda that is false, fake, and get into office by, of course, saying that the UNC is corrupt and that all Indians they symbolize as untrustworthy, unpatriotic, etc. But the very people you are now poaching, utilizing, of course, I'm sure, the slush funds that they would create coming out of having access to the treasury and paying them in order to come on their side, obviously to try to weaken the UNC, but rational people would see this as a cop-out and as a PNM that has lost its momentum and totally devoid of human resource capacity to, of course, carry on in government and to, of course, effect a good showing at an election. So they have to engage in all of these activities so as to legitimize themselves. It is really, really pie in the sky. I think they are now at the zenith of their collapse, and it's just a matter of time. Because clearly, that's my view at least, and I'm sure that others are watching it. How is it possible for you to so blatantly poach members of the UNC to come across on your side? I don't know what you hope to achieve by that.
Yes. But Lennox, what you go ahead there? I just organizing to.
I thought momentarily we had a break in transmission. Yeah,
but Lennox, I think look at it as well. The fact that there are some people who would gravitate to what you gravitate to? Home invasions. You gravitate into a high, murder toll.
Desperation. That is desperation.
On both sides. Gravitating to. Yeah. So what language is the PNM speaking that would pique your interest to put aside all your integrity and say to yourself, I want to be a part of this? What language are they telling these businessmen? What are they saying? Here it is. You have seen a cancer, a political cancer, led by Dr. Rowley and the PNM that has destroyed this country, wiped out the middle class, has basically wasted money and lined the pockets of whether themselves, their friends, their family, and of course their finances. And you say to yourself that Trinidad is in such a good position that you need to go and be a part of this. A part of what? This Costa Nostra? Talking about the brotherhood of wrongdoers. That is what it's all about. So you have to say to yourself, the people who are going there, you should be happy. We've gotten rid of a lot of liabilities. Go. And we know for a fact that they won't be able to survive there for a period where it is that at some point in time they'll start turning against each other. Because really and truly, they're not campaigning, They're begging. They're actually begging. That is what's taking place. If you go and see what happened there with Foster Cummins, you are talking about a crowd of about 300 people.
Yeah.
Turned out. Yeah, a crowd of about 300 people. 300 people turned out on August 20th for the PNM's La Horquetta Telparo 10th Annual Constituency Conference, where local MP and Minister of Youth Development and National Service Minister Foster Cummins spoke about ongoing projects and new initiatives. All of them dressed in the red. As a matter of fact, people who didn't wear red, they were given a free Prosper with Foster t-shirt. You had to put on before the camera come on, put that on before Foster reach or whatever. And Foster spent 30 minutes delivering a passionate speech. And what he could talk about is the UNC this and UNC that. But here where it gets very interesting. He said the PNM is preparing for battle because the battle is coming. And he asked the constituents to keep supporting the PNM. They're campaigning or they're begging because they have nothing to stand on when it comes to campaigning. They have no success stories. They have done absolutely nothing to elevate the lives of citizens. And they are basically having these functions to beg people. They are begging them, please don't give up on us and our wrongdoings. Please don't give up on us for the fact that we're incompetent.
And to play the race
yes,
card.
and to play the race card. That's exactly. He said that I am asking you to keep supporting the PNM. And he said the PNM is preparing for a battle because the battle is coming. They're preparing for a battle. And when you talk about battle, you have to ask yourself, it is going to be, as far as they're concerned, are they going to win it by any means necessary, even if it means stealing victory from the UNC and that of the people of Trinidad and Tobago? And that is why we must come out overwhelmingly out and support the UNC and vote for the UNC. So there will be no excuse to say, well, this one's did, that one's did. They didn't bring international observers. Rowley and the PNM is not going to do right by us, you know. Rowley and the PNM is not a government that is engineered by accountability and transparency, you know. They are not going to give us a fair political playing field, you know. Stop being so naive. People need to be a little more politically mature. It's time to grow up. They're not going to sidestep and just simply allow us to walk in, regardless of all the wrong and mismanagement and all the fact that they have failed us as a government. They are simply not going to lay down and play dead. So understand what that means. A battle is coming, according to Foster, and it's going to be a hard battle. Ready to be a part of that battle?
Yeah, and very interestingly, gentlemen, very rare, a reporter will take note. Not only did Rowley try to make it look as though there's a multitude of people there, but the reporter also noted that while Foster Cummins was making his pontification and blaring his platitudes, they were having conversations in little groups in the audience. The reporter noted that if you read the Newsday article, that the people were, in other words, ignoring what he was saying at the podium. And then when Rowley came on, people started to go to the refreshment tables and the kitchen and so on, and they had to call them back and say, come on, listen to the man.
Imagine that.
Just imagine
that. That was the break.
Yeah.
That was
a
the break.
reporter noted that.
Boy,
I say, what? Well, that's
300 people came out. Imagine the PNM could only bring out 300 people and they're giving free t-shirts and free food and free entertainment. And only 300 people, and most of them wasn't even from the area. But here what's interesting. Foster said that delinquency in the area in La Horquetta streets during the day around 9-10 a.m. He said the streets are filled with many young people liming on the block, doing precious nothing with no direction in life. I will Foster say. Now let me put this in the right perspective. We're talking about young black men, young black women. The same group, the same ethnicity that Rowley is disappointed in. Foster Cummins is saying that in the day, 9-10 a.m., the streets in La Horquetta are filled with many young people liming on the block, doing precious nothing with no proper direction in life. Now hear the nonsense with these. He said, but he announced that next week the government will break ground in phase 4 for a youth development center. How long you taking to build that? He didn't come to say that from next week there will be jobs provided for all these young men and women. You know. The only thing he could do is campaign on promises that, hey, the linemen right now, they have nothing to do. They have no proper direction in life, no purpose, no sense of being. But we're going to break ground in phase 4 for a youth development center. And not just for La Hawketta residents, but also for neighboring communities. Young people will have an opportunity when they in Raymond Yard, when they lying down choked out in a pool of blood, when? Tell us when.
Well, that is why he did not
because
mention,
you said happening now.
That's why he didn't mention how long the center will take physically to be constructed.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just hoodwinking and send the fools
That's
further.
right.
Yeah, gaslighting.
Yeah, look, Foster gonna do something. Yeah. I promise again, that's right. Go and tell them same youths and that this morning. Tell them that now. Tell them the fact that you feel no sense of purpose, no sense of being, no direction according to their MP, Foster Cummins. But at the same time, next week we're going to break ground for a center, a photo up, a run cutting, a turning, a shovel. That's what it's all about. It is all about optics now because they have nothing tangible that they have done, nothing that they can offer you, no service, no delivery of goods whatsoever. So what are they going to tell you? They tell you that they had some constitutional consultation internal. It was an internal thing, you know. But it's that the UNC didn't participate.
At states' money expense. At states' money expense. It's an internal thing at state money. Put out state money for that nonsense. For that piece
Who's
of
on the outside? Who's on the
outside? Yeah. Well, you forget Foster Cummins is calling himself Oliver after Oliver Twist. More like Oliver from Jamaica. That character who was a jokey man. And Lennox and Andy and Mikey, only forget Foster Cummins say you go and build a swimming pool in La Hawketta for everybody there to come and use. That is a new plan for the youth. He built a swimming pool up there for them. And the people who come there, the people hungry, we expect Andy and Lennox and Mikey. They have no food in the house, just like all we catch me aunt and uncle. So they come there for the food. The people who come there for nothing, they gain a free meal. So they take what they can get and the rest of them listen for the foolishness that coming after. Have a good day, gentlemen.
And don't forget that was the Minister of Youth of making those observations, reminiscent of when Hines was the Minister of Youth, when a fella met him at Trin City and asked him for a little change, and he said, a big strong man like you, you should be working, forgetting that he is the Minister of Youth, and therefore should have said, come to my office next week. We may be able to see what we can do for you. If
James,
you have a skill.
James. And when we dismantle it here on the ground report, people must understand, stop voting against yourself.
That's right.
He went to deal with, Foster even went to deal with the criticism that the government is only implementing programs for young people north of the Caroni River, trying to play the race card, and is doing nothing in South and Central regions, he said. So you know what he said? He said the qualification is to be a young citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, no matter your race, creed, color, or class, he stressed. Okay, one would think that when it is that you are addressing that criticism, that you're only implementing programs for young people north of the Caroni River and doing nothing in South and Central region, that you would have laid out the programs that are already operating there, that you would have get on the platform and said that is not true. Right now in Barrackpore, right now all in Williamsville, right now in Penal, right now in Maruga, Tableland, we have this, we have that, we have that, we have graduates. As a matter of fact, let's bring up some of the young people who participated in programs in those areas to share with you what they have learned and how they've developed. No, you went on to give some shallow, empty rhetoric that the program is for each and every one. But you can't tell us where each and every one fits in across Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, again. Come on, man.
And every single program that he has announced, whether it be the agricultural homestead program, is always tokenistic. For 500 persons applied, but you could only train 200 or less. And then to benefit from the homestead, you have cut out parcels for them, only 40. 40. 40. When the UNC giving out houses, it's 100 a week. They will give out 40 houses and then get the photo op opportunity and make it look as though it's thousands of houses that they give out, you know.
Well, they unearth and foster them, boy. But Mikey,
all of them are like that.
Programs and
it's showmanship. It's histrionics.
Where these programs is. Wow.
No, you can't say where the program.
No.
I mean, and the media is listen. The media is taking some serious jobs here, as Lennox said, and is bringing to us a very comprehensive outlook at what's going on. Because in the same media story, they said a scan of the mature crowd while Cummings delivered his speech showed people talking among themselves.
Right, you see?
And you make sure the underlying mature crowd, meaning that he wasn't addressing young people.
Young people, that's right.
Not even the young people gravitating to the minister who's supposed to be seeking their interests.
Yeah. Who claim to be seeking their interests? Who claim to be?
Yeah. Who's outside? Who's on the outside?
Mad. And the media was clear. They were policing. They looked at those nuances and says hogwash is nonsense. You should read the part where when Rowley started to talk, people were looking for food and drinks. They had to bring them to attention and tell them go back and sit down.
Yes.
Until the man
They
finished.
said that
during
his address, some members of the audience began leaving their seats, making their way towards the food table. The food service was temporarily halted, with distribution resuming after Rowley spoke. After Rowley, because they didn't come there to hear Rowley or Foster.
That's right.
You give me a t-shirt, you give me free entertainment, and you give me the food. I want what I really came here for. Let me fill up my plate, fill up my belly, and ride out. Because beyond that, you have nothing to offer me. Absolutely nothing. Rowley talking, and the people get up and talking about leg and tie with the pepper. Okay, the doubles man across. Not that too much rice. Put our next piece of chicken, please. And okay. Why Rowley talking? Because they didn't come there to hear Rowley. It wasn't even party faithfuls that were there. Party faithfuls would have had the t-shirt already. It's people who just pop up like toast because they smell the barbecue or whatever and realize it has free food, free entertainment, and they don't mind listening to one or two parts of it. We're ready to eat. We're ready to go. And that's what happened there. No?
And Rowley, you take it too long. Rowley, you take it too long.
Rowley,
you take it too long. Yeah, we hungry. So them get up and eat. They stop sharing food. So Rowley can
exactly. For 9 years, you ain't saying nothing that makes sense. The only thing that making sense here is the free food. Let me go and load up my plate on my box and go home, man.
Oh Lord, you know that come when they go a wedding and you realize, you know, you start to close the bar at some point because you go get drink out.
Yeah,
so
over.
While Rowley they talking, everybody start to watch well. Well, look like people hungry, they're going for food. Say, see this one, what do I want to say? That ain't looking good on the boss, you know. So messages start to send, hey, cut the food back, cut it.
Because Andy, they didn't come there for that. The minute they know that Rowley going to talk, they know they have nothing to get. They know quite well after 9 years, he has said absolutely nothing that makes sense. And I didn't come here for that. I was walking by, I lineman. I just went round the corner and a man grabbed me and said, oh, pour this nut and you'll get a plate of food. Hey, nothing wrong with that? But I ready to eat now. You didn't tell me the terms and conditions. I had to listen to Rowley nonsense and then get my plate of food. I want my food now. Rowley speaking is the best time for intermission.
Oh God, let me take this call. Morning caller.
If this thing was
Andy.
Go ahead, caller.
And that's why we want foreign observers for the 2025 general election. And Uncle Andy, Lennox, Mikey, and the workers' platform. That is why we have to write them and tell them we want the foreign observers. So, Uncle Mikey, the Roman roti. But then again, those who were seated was the wife and the ministers of his cabinet, and them are already taking him on. And the nice thing about it, the people is awakened to know that all talk no full belly is what is by the table, what is sharing out. So they're hungry for the real food, not the old talk again. So I just want to put Trinidad and Tobago and all the listeners today to see all these. This is just selecting the executive for the constituency, and people, the membership, they really care about them and care about them, because that's a rake and scrape now to make it look good. And the crowd in Napa, if you listen to that same woman voice screaming, is a recorded voice to make it look like people like it's a crowd, and it's just a handful. So I want the message what I get to that, and the point I'm making is the same thing with Maduro and in Venezuela. We see and we saw where the opposition and the kind of people, the opposition were mobilized and following the opposition. And then the elected committee, or just as how we are the EBC here, give Maduro the government. So Rowley followers and them know that after 9 years, they're hungry physically, mentally, and spiritually now. And all talk is full of it. So that I will say this morning, and good morning to Andy. Well, Andy, before I go, the small man, today is his birthday. And thanks to the gentleman who gave him the little wheelchair. And today, by God's grace, he spent 12 years on this earth. And may God bless him and give him good health and strength and the understanding to accept his disability and to move forward, to know that he's a perfect young man and he will be something in life where he's working towards and he can make a difference. Thank you, Andy and the Gong Report. Have a nice day.
Yes, Mike.
All that charade and performance is to impress Rowley, you know. So he could justify his job that he's a popular man. For comments, he's so popular that he was able to pull out that, and the journalists on the rain on his parade. Oh, the mature audience.
But not only that, he wants to justify the fact that he wants to come back as an MP. So the screening process is about to begin.
Yeah.
He wants to sit down in the big chair. He finds the spotlight is too much on Stuart Young, because Stuart Young is acting now in the absence of Rowley, not Imbert anymore. So a lot of the old guards are being pushed out. And Foster said, well, I had to prove myself. So Foster dip in his pocket. Now, the thing about it, I am certain the person who catered that event was not the same unemployed youth that was given the opportunity to cook something, bring it out, showcase their culinary skills, and to also be a part of serving the dishes. I am certain about that. Money was spent, chairs, tents. No young person got an opportunity to work that event. And the same thing he's getting on the platform to talk about opportunities for them, it was a mature crowd. The youth didn't come out. The youth didn't come out. That's a big insult. Yeah. You dip in your pocket to show your boss man, hey, you see me? Yeah, I walk in. And your boss man said, boy, Foster always asking for something for this constituency. Yeah. He always asking, but he never asked to get them youths and them what? That is one thing he asking for. But he asked for a catered event. He asked a catered event for 300 people who didn't come with a PNM t-shirt saying they're backing Foster. So here, hold one, you take off that. Yeah, but I'm not in the party. I'm not a member. Don't worry, just put it on, man. It's just for optics. Just sit down there. And you had the people sitting down there to listen to your 30 minutes. Then Rowley come to talk. The people hungry.
Yeah, but not only that.
They're hungry.
Rowley endorse him. When Rowley, remember Rowley, he catch Rowley, we got Rowley ball. You will believe there's a big convention here in La Hoca today. And people, and then some wicked media man come and talk the truth. Don't be shocked. They're going to hunt down whoever.
Yeah, they're going to hunt down that media person. Yeah, they're going to hunt him down. But the thing about it is, Foster set up the man. He set up the man because he know what he like. So he give him it.
Andy,
hold 1 minute.
The optics.
Go ahead, caller.
Andy, morning again. You know what's the name of the pan show? Pan and powder. And he don't want to powder the face. He want to bring shame and disgrace to the supporters' face. Thank you, Andy.
Oh boy, this man is like Rowley. I told him.
People want to think. There people living. Some people living not too far from there. The ones that sitting there, they want to make sure and pack the box, go home, drop off, come back, get 2 more box. Who it is that came up there by car? They want to put 2 boxes in the car, come back and get a plate and eat. The people had to move fast. When you're working at free food thing, you had to know how to operate. You can't sit down there and listen to Rowdy talk nonsense. You had to get in and get your food. The people ain't come there because they like Foster. They ain't come there because they wanted Rowdy. They could only muster 300 people. How many of them they pulled from the basketball court? How many of them was just sitting down there? How many of them come from the church and they're just happy to see free food? The PNM is not popular. That's why you have to beg them to support the PNM. But they are not PNM supporters. They are not PNM supporters. It's people who you make hungry, and now you tell them come for free food, not to sit down and listen to somebody who has done nothing for them. And when that person starts to talk, it's the best time to go for the food. What's your voice note then?
Yeah, you know I play that voice note. Oh Lord. About 5 minutes voice note. Oh God, all 7 voice note.
But it's clear that Foster came prepared because he realized that most of the members of the audience will not have had jerseys. So he prepared some jerseys and gave it to them so that they could sit there. But of course, they really wasn't interested in the proceedings. He and all was subjected to, of course, diversion by a little corner talk. 3 gathered there, 4 gathered there, and they're talking, and he babbling whatever he babbling on the stage, impressing Rowley, of course. And when Rowley came on, of course, they got up and they said, but they had enough, and let them go to the E-table. It's about time, because you want to bore me to death. Of course, they had to close the bar, as Andy rightly perceived, so that Rowley could finish what he had to do, leave, and then, of course, all hell break loose after that.
That come like, you know, when a big artist come, like when Marshall had to sing, they go let everybody else sing first. Sing first, because if it Marshall first, when Marshall done sing, the
everybody gone. Yeah.
But the big artist there that night was the food. They were going to open the food bar.
So it wasn't Rowley. It wasn't Rowley. It was something inanimate. It was something non-human. I hear you, my friend. Yeah,
because I'm sure if the people really wanted to hear Rowley, they wouldn't have been able to be fighting to muster up 300 people. 300 people.
No people disrupting Rowley's speech to go to the bar and or the catering center.
Let me hear.
As Ole usually said, people don't pelt stone at barren trees. The mere fact that Ole kind on about this meeting is because it's hurting Ole. And Ole know it bearing fruits. So take that in Ole powerful, and it's that.
But this is a total dunce, you know. That is a poor exhibition of reverse psychology, boy. You can't catch me with that. The newspapers.
That Mikey mash it up like TV.
Yeah, no, but it hurted
me. That's right.
Everybody get to see.
No, but it hurted me too. Because here it is that Rowley's own has rejected him, and we still have people who talking about they ain't participating and they ain't coming and push back to make sure that this government is gone completely. It had to hurt because his own people, they are not popular, and people still talk about Kamala this and Kamala that. Rowley have nothing to stand on. Kamala is not the issue. Santa Cruz is not the issue. Andy Williams, Lennox Smith, Mikey K, we are not the issue. Miss Woodbrook is not the issue. The issue here is understanding what the role is and what we have to do. And that is we have to live better. We must live better. You giving out free food, free beverages, free entertainment, and the people rejecting that and all. The only thing they gravitating to is what you have to give them. But you have to beg them. You have to beg them to stay with you. These people are not with you.
Yeah. Don't eat
They
no
act
more.
with
And it's
you.
When
not
we listen
we
to
say that,
leaders,
it's the reporter say
we know
that.
you're hungry.
We
We know
reading
you're
what the
That's
hungry.
right.
reporter
Eat
say.
now.
We reading what the
We hear this.
reporter say. The reporter say is a mature crowd. You know what mature mean? It means that at minimum, then people will be over 30. What mature means. And then, of course, people having conversation whilst the reporter say that, you know. It's the first time I see a reporter make that part and parcel of a report. It's the first
Right,
time,
let me
and
explain to you, Jody.
there's a traditional or conservative newspaper say that. And then when Joaquin was talking, they were going for food. That is what the paper say, not we. You can't blame us. You have to blame the reporter. And therefore, that is a poor exhibition of reverse psychology if you think that that will stop us from reporting what the reporter say. Is the reporter say that? Right now I
That hurting
show
him. I'm play the
Rowley
voice today,
and
but that hurting him.
Foster Cummins right now breathing fumes. Fumes with that report that they got there from a traditional report. It's in the news there. Go and read it.
Nice.
Andy, and I also forget to mention, continue playing this song, this Calypso song, where it's saying, Captain, your ship is sinking. Captain. We understand? Play that song for me, Andy. Because right now, people loving it. At the end of the day, here we're going on. Shouldn't be going to know the right thing, but it is wicked to the self and in the heart. But they have to put God first. Because if you don't have God in real life right now, people committing suicide. All you're not seeing what's taking place. Young people getting disappointment. They have no direction where to go, who to turn to. They're going to these certain government places and they're getting turned down. Oh gosh, all come on, man. All they don't live all their life. Let young people get a chance to live in this place too now. Get rid of the dirty, wicked, bad mind PNM government. Out of this government. They just taking up space in this country and we don't want them running like a dog when you see them come by all here. Say, go and get. All they do nothing for 9 years. Get out my face. And it's that.
Morning, Andy Williams and the Ground Report. When Patrick Manning was talking about, show me a liar and I will show you a thief, who was he speaking about?
Good morning to the Ground Report team, Ground Report family. Yes, sir. You know, strange enough, I hear Rowley, you know how they use a bad talk and bash Morgan Job. I take a word from Morgan Job last night, right? I mean, in the hockey there, tomfoolery. Yeah? The same Morgan Job who they call all kind of names, you know. But you know what? Morgan Job body lying state when he died. You understand? But he used a word from Morgan Job dictionary, tomfoolery. Boy, till I cannot flip when I hear that last night. I say, what? Telling me. Well, I don't know when God will release me from now on, boy. And you're not now me first time. God bless one.
Hi, Andy. Good morning. This is Kumote here. Andy, I want to talk about some corruption in our country. Andy, this morning on, I think it's The Guardian, right? I heard it also on the radio, and they spoke about the project that taking place in central Chaguanas there. And they're saying the project cannot finish August month, which is this month. They're saying why, the minister is saying why they use the wrong material on that project. And it is craziness. How could they use the wrong material on a highway? Who looking at it? Who was supervising this project? 65 million, I think they say, that project was costing. Now, our tax dollars spending there. And in Kumoto here, where the Kumoto gas station is, 2 years now, a project to build a piece of road. about 100 and, let me say about 150 feet, right? And they drive profile, they concrete it down and whatnot. And the 2 years now, they fill in a private piece of land with blue metal material. Is it that material came from Central? I just saying, right? That material came from Central, what's supposed to go on the Central project to fill this private property in front of the gas station. They dig up in front of the gas station, right? A little lower down there's a board house, right? That property, they fill in the land around that property. That is our tax dollars paying for these things. You see big truck, Wassa digging up, putting down line, they dig up, they building new drain in front of the gas station. Talk on the ground. Is it a minister buy out these three property? We just asking, the public is asking. I hope we could get some answers from who. But I see the MP for Kumoto Manzalana does highlight that piece of road is prepared and ready to pave. But that is about 2 months ago. And where all this material going? And if you look at, I sent something for you, you could look at it. Kumoto out.
Yeah, Kumoto, I'll play back this voice note tomorrow and play the video that you sent. Ah, boy. And the rest of voice notes will play tomorrow, please God. It will. Yes, it will play tomorrow, please God, a lot. So I'll put all these rest of voice notes in place for tomorrow, please God. Which will start the program early bit, okay? All who send the voice notes. Mikey, take me out there, my brother. Time check.
All right.
Yes,
Time
indeed.
check. Yeah, 10 minutes. That's after the hour of 9 o'clock. It's always a pleasure to have you good folks on with us. Don't forget tomorrow, of course, God willing, back here. And of course, later on tonight, 8 o'clock, our very own LENNOX Smith Corridor Transformation. And tomorrow we'll also be looking at what was said at last night's final UNC's pre-budget consultation in Siparia by the political leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bissessar. So we'll look at that as well tomorrow and some interviews. So, folks, as always, stay good. And, hey, if it's have free food, take it by the box. Take it by the bag. Take it by the container. And let me tell you something. At the end of the day, don't ever forget that these people have nothing to offer you. Nothing. They're being rejected by their own. They are not popular. They have absolutely nothing to stand on. Nothing to campaign on. So let me tell you something. You know what that means? It's time to go in for the political kill. Yeah, right now they're scared, they're jumpy, they're embarrassed. So they will try anything to deflect from the real issues. As I said yesterday, they could put 3 Russian submarines on the quota as far as I'm concerned. That ain't going to bring back the babies that died in the NICU. That ain't going to help the 2,000 students that fell through the cracks when it came to the heights of the pandemic. That ain't going to deal with the mismanagement of the COVID. That's not going to help to move the economy forward. That is not going to help put people who are on the breadline now back into jobs, sustainable jobs. That ain't going to help Petrotrin. The fact that people jumping through your window, coming through your door, invading your home, that is not going to help the fact that there are more murders now compared to this period last year. None of that is going to help. That is running from the issues. And that is something that we will always be on top of and laser focused. They can, but they cannot hide. Their days are politically numbered. Until tomorrow, do something. Oh gosh. Do something, man. Take care.
He came from Calcutta, a stick and a bag on his shoulder. He told So I am vaccine of India.
Yes, people, of course, we have come to the end of another edition of the Ground Report this morning. Of course, don't forget that tonight we continue with the corridor transformation with your host, of course, LENNOX Smith. Very interesting, very interesting. I think the takeaway I would take is that the sycophant that called in, I think he called himself Mr. Port of Spain, and he said that, of course, we were talking about the incident, the embarrassment that was that La Hoqueta PNM event where people were either ignoring those who were on the stage or going to get something to eat whilst Rowley was talking. Well, I want to tell him, he said that we were talking because it was something of a success. Well, if we have to take that as the logic that he would have advanced, then it means therefore Kamala and the UNC is extremely popular, because Rowley wastes no and spares no opportunity to call the names. Just think about it. So we know that they are totally discombobulated, they are totally confused, and therefore really are at a loss, as the days of the PNM in government clearly are numbered, and maybe as a party itself. Don't put that beyond the karma that is at work against the PNM at this time. Have a wonderful rest of the day. God bless.
Take a trip back to your root, and somewhere on that journey, you go see a man in a dhoti saying it prayers in front of a chandi. Chandi. Then and only then you'll understand what is a cosmopolitan nation. There's no room for prejudice at all. United we stand, divided we fall. So to always is here in Trinbago, Akokaliano Danyaho. Let us live as one under the sky. Jahaji Bhai, brotherhood of the boat. Jahaji Bhai, brotherhood of the boat. Jahaji Look in my eyes. What do you see? There's no doubt the message is clear. Home and love, so helplessly. Girl, forever I want to live.
Yes, people, of course, I thought I will leave you with a little bit of reggae. And of course, and deviate from the traditional. But of course, we cannot conclude a program without making certain that you understand who Rowley and the PNM is or are.
Starting tonight, I wanna prove my love, yeah. I'll take my time. You haven't known your wasted chances, no.
From the Trinidad, location 7 miles off the coast of Venezuela. SOS, SOS, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Help! crawl, things start to fall. Hold me head when I sail a fall. Captain, this ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough. Oh yes, we gas tank almost empty, no electricity. We oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship or shall we